Every finance YouTuber loves making a good video about passive income, so I said I'm going to join the party. In my eyes, there are very few truly passive sources of income, but of the ones out there, dividend income is probably one of the closest ones you can get to the real thing. Technically, you could say, but I have to work to get that income, to invest in the stocks, to get those dividends, so is it really passive at all? But let's not go there. Without being greedy, what is a realistic amount of money that you would like to get into your back pocket at the end of every month without having to ever lift a finger? To be honest, I would be quite happy with an extra €100 a month in cash. It would go a long way to paying my food bills or a few points. So that's what I want to have a look at today. I want to look at how much you need to invest in order to earn €100 a month in dividend income. Firstly, why do companies even pay dividends in the first place? And why do some companies pay them and why do some companies not? If you take a company like Coca-Cola, they pay a dividend of 3% every year, but then a company like Tesla has never ever declared a dividend. It tends to relate to the maturity of the company. Coca-Cola, for instance, has been selling pretty much the same product for over 100 years and has been constantly generating billions of cash profits. When a company has a huge abundance in cash, it has two options. It can either reinvest it in new projects and opportunities to try and grow the value of the company even more, or else they can decide to pay it out as dividends. Usually the growth opportunities for companies like Coca-Cola slow down as they mature. Like, there's only so many times they can bring out that disgusting Coke vanilla. So in order to attract investors and to keep shareholders participating within the company, they decide then to pay out dividends to reward them. And many shareholders are delighted to receive those dividends because they provide a steady stream of predictable income. Before we go on to look at how much you need to invest to earn €100 in dividends a month, I think it is important that we understand one concept, and that is the dividend yield. As I mentioned earlier on, Coca-Cola as a company has a dividend yield at the moment of 3%. Put simply, the dividend yield equals the amount that the company pays out in dividends every year divided by its share price. The cool thing about this formula is we can now use it to work backwards and see how much we need to actually invest to get that €100 a month. So now let's take a look at some examples. I'm just going to take a few random dividend yield percentages and work our way backwards to see how much we need to invest. As I was saying, that if we wanted to get €100 a month, that is €1,200 in a year. So now let's put the figures into the formula and see what comes out. So to earn €1,200 a year in dividend income with a stock that has a dividend yield of 5%, you need to invest €24,000 today. So that is quite a lot of money to be investing all at once just to earn that €100 a month. So let's just see how much that changes when you actually change the dividend yield of the company. So if we invested in a company with a higher dividend yield, so let's go for say 8% next. So if you invested in a company that had a dividend yield of 8%, that would only require you to invest €15,000 to get that same €100 a month. Let's go a little bit higher again and see what the effect is. What if I decided to invest in a company that paid out a massive dividend of 10%? So with a 10% dividend yield, you need to invest €12,000 today to get that €1,200 over the year. That's all well and good, me picking out high dividend yields, but in reality, do many companies actually pay these high dividends? A good place to check this out is if you come over to the stock screener on finviz.com. So I've just come over to this website now, and I'm going to put a few filters on the screener just to check out how many different companies are paying these high dividend yields. So as part of my filters here, I'm going to filter by the market cap as well, because it's probably not wise to be investing in very low cap stocks. So I'm going to only have a look at companies that have a valuation of plus 2 billion. So let's put this as a filter here on the screener. And they also have another filter here for the dividend yields, so I can select this and go through each of the different levels to see how many companies are above that level. So let's start off with 5%. So I'm going to click over 5% and it will tell you the total number of companies then. So there's only 116 companies with a valuation of greater than 2 billion that pay a dividend yield of over 5%. So let's keep going up through the levels and see how much this actually drops off by. So if we go from 5%, let's move up to say 7%. That brings it down to just 49 companies that are paying a dividend yield of more than 7%. Let's go higher again. Let's say over 10%. How many companies is there? So there are just 7 companies that are paying a dividend yield at the moment of 10%. I would imagine the stock price for these companies has tanked in the recent months, and they have kept their dividend amounts per stock at the same amount. So this has kept the dividend yield artificially high. If you do decide to go with the dividend investment strategy, it is very important to also diversify across a few different companies and not put all your eggs in one basket, because these dividend policies are just policies and they can change. If anything goes bad with the company, they can easily change their policy and decide not to pay out a dividend for a few years until they get back on their feet. I also put a major asterisk beside this strategy because you also need to factor in the amount of taxes that you're going to have to pay on this dividend income. Where I am from, the taxes on dividends can range up as far as 52%, depending on how much you earn from your employment, and that would mean I would need to double my amount invested from my examples earlier on if I wanted to achieve that amount of €100 a month, and for that reason I am out. But this may not be an issue wherever you are from, but it is very important to take into consideration whatever the tax rules are in relation to dividends in your country. For those tax reasons, growth stocks make a lot more sense to me based on where I am from in Ireland, because you can earn €1,200 a year tax-free in profits on stocks, which given the right investment strategy is a much easier target to hit than earning the 1,200 with dividend, because as we have seen with dividend yields, they max out at around 5 to 7% at most. But with growth stocks, if you have the right strategy, or if you even get lucky, you can earn well above 10% on your investment. You could easily earn up to 20 or 30% with the right strategy. And because of these potential higher returns, you can achieve the same result with a much lower level of capital. I'd love to know your own thoughts on this, especially if you're an Irish investor. Have you ever decided to go with a dividend investment strategy for your portfolio? Or have you had a bit of a blend between growth and dividend stocks? Let me know your experiences in the comment section. So thanks very much for watching today, guys. If you did enjoy the video, I would really appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.